Hello, hello, my brave and fabulous mortal soul. Venus here, and today is National Frozen Custard Day. And since I hadn't done a video for you yet today, I thought this would be the one. This is going to be a recipe blitz, pure and simple, no riddles, no games. Straight up, I'm going to tell you what to do. Custard is one of my favorite desserts. And whenever my mom made it over a double boiler and it was still warm, I just loved it. She would always put cherry pie filling on top. And so I've got some frozen custard here with cherries on top and some bananas and some little caramely bits. But listen, you can get as fancy or simple as you want. Custard is so yummy. And I want to first tell you about Custard Day, and then we're going to get to the good stuff. So hashtag Frozen Custard Day. All right. So August 8th is known as National Frozen Custard Day in the United States. And it's got a smooth texture, a nice fresh flavor when you make it yourself. And you can keep it frozen, which means you can have it for a lot longer. So it's similar to ice cream. Frozen custard is made with eggs in addition to cream and sugar. And this dessert comes in several flavors. I like to go with the vanilla version. I like French vanilla. And apparently you can go all across the country in the United States and get so many versions. Scotland has great creamy desserts as well. It's probably delicious over there too. Toppings could be anything from syrup, nuts, fruits. I love fresh fruits. I love pie filling on my custard. And it's as satisfying as ice cream if you're into frozen desserts. And this time of year, it's so hot out. It's been a lovely kind of summer hot. And this is just the perfect treat to have when it's a hot day. So let's look at some fun frozen custard facts. So there were ice cream vendors called Archie and Elton Kohr, Kohr, who invented frozen custard on Coney Island, New York. We've been there in 1919. They found that adding egg yolks to the ice cream created a smoother texture, helped the ice cream to stay cold longer. And in their first weekend, the Kohr brothers sold 18,640 cones of frozen yogurt on the Coney Island boardwalk. I just loved knowing that. I've been there. I've eaten their hot dogs. You know, I had to do it. And this is just so yummy. Now, the popularity of frozen custard grew in 1933 when frozen custard found a market at the World's Fair in Chicago. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin became known as the unofficial frozen custard capital of the world. I didn't know that. And I'm always seeing this like big black pickup truck. It's got a wrap on it from Milwaukee. It makes me want to go there now just to try it. And in the United States, Food and Drug Administration requires frozen custard products to contain at least 10% milk fat and 1.4% egg yolk solids. Because of the egg yolk, frozen custard must be carefully prepared. Yeah, you don't want anyone to get sick, so they're careful with it. Nice to hear that. And frozen custard is commonly prepared fresh at the place where they're going to sell it. And you know what? If you make it yourself, you can do the little, tweaks here and there to make it fresher, to make it healthier for you. It is a refreshing treat, and I just love it. You can make it at home, and I'm going to share one recipe that I found for you for frozen custard. And, if you get fancy, you can even look up how to make your own waffle cones to serve it in. But let me tell you, there are even custard making competitions and taste testing judges in the United States. So keep an eye out. And for those of you who are interested in this, let me share a recipe with you. No tricks. Okay, for frozen custard, you only need 5 ingredients. You'll need 1.5 cups of heavy cream, 1.25 cups of reduced carb whole milk, like the Fairlife brand, 4 egg yolks, a half cup of sweetener. You can do whatever alternative you like. There's one brand out there called Joy Filled Eats sweetener. And I, for one, like cane sugar or stevia, but stevia has a lingering taste. Plain sugar, the liquid sugar, or you can make your own. You'll need 2 teaspoons of glycerin. I think so that this doesn't become a frozen brick of solid ice in your freezer. Okay. You're going to put all the ingredients in a blender and you're going to blend it until it's smooth. The more you blend it, the more velvety and silky smooth it will be. You're going to pour it all into an ice cream machine and freeze it according to whatever your manufacturer's instructions are for your particular ice cream making machine. Okay. And let me see. So let me see, what else can I tell you about it? Let me see. Okay. So, Now, don't you worry. If you separate your egg yolks from your egg whites, you can actually turn your egg whites into a meringue and baste some clean washed grapes. Put those grapes in the freezer, and the meringue will be a beautiful glossy coating, especially if you use dark blue grapes. And it'll be like a super alternative frozen treat that's just awesome on its own. So nothing goes to waste here. All right. So, and you're if you use your own ice cream machine, you'll get a soft serve texture to your frozen custard. Usually you have to freeze for about 25 minutes, maybe 20 minutes later, it will be ready to eat. Now, you can then, once you freeze it in a separate container until it's scoopable, to help make it scoopable, just dip your metal scoop into hot water first so it can cut through better. And again, your custard, like you see here in my picture, it's a base. So you could put hot fudge on it, you could put whipped cream on it. I like to do cherries. My mom will use cherry pie filling, so it's got a bit of that syrup to it. It is super yummy. Love it. Some people are going to go with a scoop of Nutella or chocolate sauce, caramel sauce, little caramel bits, little chocolate chips. If you like the fun, that confetti, that tutti frutti stuff, and caramel sauce, some people will swirl hot fudge sauce and caramel sauce together. Some people will use strawberry Nestle Quick. You could do custard and then put coconut flakes on it. Some people will crush up nuts and put it on top. I love berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, any kind of berry. Swirled in with the frozen custard, I think is awesome. It's a natural sweetness, any kind of great flavor. Some people use dark chocolate shavings, and some people actually put a pinch of salt with the chocolate shavings to balance out the flavor a bit better. And they use the dark chocolate, the 85%, to have a lower carb intake on it. But you're eating custard, just enjoy it. All right. And now, you can also make it sugar-free if you wanted, which will last in the freezer for 2 to 3 weeks. And it might taste better when it's first made than a couple of weeks later. So you want to eat it when it's still as fresh as possible. Okay. And make sure you're storing it in the freezer in an airtight container so none of the freon gases or other foods in that freezer contaminate the flavor and the smell when you're serving it. Some people will use a loaf pan that's lined with wax paper and then put plastic wrap over the top, but seal it in as good as you can. And then before you serve it, when you take it out of the freezer, let it sit for 5 minutes to thaw a little bit so the scoop can go through as desired. All right. Now, if you need to be dairy-free, you can also substitute the milk with coconut milk. And that would be a lovely way to add it to with coconut shavings, chunks of pineapples. I like to actually saute my pineapples in butter and brown sugar and put it on top of a coconut milk-based custard. You give it a try. I'm always experimenting in my kitchen because the kitchen is the staycation adventure, my foodie adventure that I love. The smells, the flavors, it just always perks me up. It gets me in the mood. So, hey, keep your dirty minds out of my kitchen. Anyways, well, this is Venus Callida. I hope you like this little recipe blitz and have a wonderful, happy day. There's so many things to celebrate today. It's Cat Day, it's Sleep Under the Stars night, and it's Frozen Custard Day. So have fun, bon appetit, and I'll see you next time.